With me today, I have Jaymie and Jeremy from Knotty Tie. Hi.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Welcome. So today we are talking about the companies in the promotional products space that are focused on giving and making the world a better place. And we've been working diligently to tell those stories. And so this is your chance to have your time to tell everybody out there in social good promotions land about Knotty Tie and all of the things that go along with how you've organized your business and what it means to the world when someone makes a purchase with you. So before we get into the specifics of the organization and what it sells, let's just cover the broad strokes, sort of where you're located, how long you've been in business, how many employees, that sort of thing to frame the context of the organization.
Absolutely. We were originally founded in 2013 as a retail brand, but soon found out that we really wanted to be making relationships with entities that really knew the end user and knew what they cared about and essentially would be able to tell the story on our behalf. So we've now been in the promotional products industry for about 3 years, and we really see a lot of potential to help sort of steward the industry in a completely different direction than what it might historically be known for. The company itself is based in Denver, Colorado, and we have a little bit more than 20 staff, all of whom are full-time and work at our facility, half of whom are resettled refugees.
It's very nice. And so all of your product manufacturing is actually done there in Colorado, correct?
Absolutely. Everything from graphic design to textile printing, laser cutting, cut and sew manufacturing, and fulfillment. So it's actually all in one open office environment. And that was intentionally done so that, and our actual designers are the ones that talk to the customers. So there's a lot of different philosophies that we have in the process to just make sure that everyone actually understands everyone else's job, can see everyone else working every single aspect of the process, and it results in an incredible amount of understanding and camaraderie amongst the team.
Sure.
But it really elevates the quality of the product.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it sort of accelerates innovation and other things when we're working in a collaborative sense. But it's also designed specifically to provide sort of cultural familiarity and an open dialogue between our refugee staff and our non-refugee staff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if they don't understand culturally what we're working on or speak English and they're isolated in a manufacturing facility exclusively, they're never going to improve their English, they're never going to actually increase or improve their cultural familiarity.
Sure. Yeah, I could see how from a manufacturing perspective, for those of us who understand how traditional manufacturers work, it's usually your line and your assignment is within whatever that line's responsibility is. So by introducing new languages and new cultures into lines, I could see how that could make it difficult to have the growth that you're looking for out of that brand new employee who's not only just brand new to the organization, but maybe brand new to the country.
Yep.
And so there's a lot going on for that person when it comes to the life of that person as they're entering the workforce here in America. That's amazing. So talk a little bit about the product set. What is it that one might buy from you guys across the board? Obviously, when you say Knotty Tie, that brings some semblance of idea of what we might buy, but what else might someone be able to get from you guys?
Yeah, there's certainly a rebranding in our near future. It was sort of a product-centric platform that we had built. But in its origin, I was doing some nonprofit work and volunteer work in the refugee community, and I had proposed to another organization the idea of importing fabrics, employing refugee women in the community, and then exporting those finished ties and scarves. And so we're going to call it Global Ties and Scarves and try to use the pattern design to share commonalities of humanity and symbolism to educate people. The organization I was working with wasn't interested. So I had $500 and went off on my own to buy a sewing machine and then started constructing ties. But ties are actually a very technically complicated garment to make.
Yeah.
So it was one of the things that we could compete against Chinese manufacturers. 98% of the world's ties are all made in one province of China.
Wow.
And so it wasn't something that could be directly sublimated onto in a quality way. So we knew that there was some competitive sort of insulation that we could create by not only working with refugees that have technical sewing skills, but also creating a technically complicated garment that just couldn't really be knocked off easily. but it was a mature product category that a lot of people think is archaic. And I'll be the first to say a lot of people do wear ties and scarves and order from us and are very happy with it. And especially pocket squares and other products that we've added to the portfolio speak to kind of a more casual work environment or whatever might be happening and evolving. But really what we're focused on is building any products now that we've built all of the manufacturing capabilities to produce and print our own textiles and cut fabrics and the sourcing relationships. It's really all about how can we produce anything that is really sold in the promotional product space and make it out of recycled plastics.
Wow.
So obviously there's an enormous environmental consequence to our obsession and addiction to single-use plastics.
Sure.
And in most statistics, and 9% of all plastics that were ever created have ever been recycled. So there's no need to continue to create plastics. There's enough that if we just continue to close the loop and present opportunities and products that are made from waste streams as fashion items or something, we're really trying to demonstrate that fashion and promotional products can actually be a solution to a problem and convince others to move in that direction.
Man, so when you start to break down, I mean, you've got the social construct of resettled refugees, you've got the made in America, in this trade war sort of environment that we're all living in. There's some comfort amongst a subset of the buying community of knowing that I don't have to subject myself to all of what's going on when it comes to sourcing internationally. There's the environmental play of absolutely what we're seeing in our industry is a move towards trying to shift away from virgin plastic and ways to be able to recreate our supply chain in a way that allows us to be able to continue to reuse the products that we're already generating, which for our industry, which maybe historically has had a little bit of a black eye on being so plastic focused, because we're so ingrained with what petroleum products are capable of doing, you would think that we would have the ability to be able to be pioneers and leaders in the space of repurposing things because of just the sheer volume of what we touch when it comes to those things that can potentially be harmful to the environment. So we don't frequently see as social good promotions where it's sort of the triple threat like that. So I probably don't need to commend you for something that you probably already realize. But when it comes to, if you're weighing your decisions about how many of the levels of goodness are we seeing from the people that we're trying to do business with, I mean, we're seeing this is a stacked goodness here. That is really fantastic. What's the market reaction been?
It has been challenging, I think, because it is so nuanced and it's so complex, and certain people do resonate, or certain portions of our mission might resonate more strongly with others, that there is still a lot of work to be done to communicate the value and the rationale and the justification for everything that we do. And frankly, obviously, sustainability, I think, resonates with a lot more people than the refugee piece, partially because just of the sort of political cycle and what's been going on in terms of the communication around that. But the product itself, people love the product and are purchasing the product even without knowing those things.
There you go.
So
right.
we wanted to create a product that we were so proud of that it wasn't a pity purchase. We weren't asking you to buy it because it's inferior, but it was actually this full stack of these quality attributes in which we would have incredible design, incredible service, fast turnaround times, actually outcompete Chinese firms with no minimums, with like free complimentary samples or whatever it is that we're trying to do to get the product into people's hands so that they can see it firsthand. And then we're a little bit more subtle about the way in which we present the mission aspects, because there really is an opportunity to change people's minds or to educate and create some awareness, or at least create curiosity without being so literal or direct. So how can we use product to inform people about a crisis, whether that's migration crises that we might not necessarily feel in the center of the country, or that we're not feeling like Europe's feeling. And environmental crises where we're not necessarily seeing, we were just in Orlando and we were shocked at the people were had specific stories of seeing beached animals and saw plastics in their mouth, or saw turtles caught in nets, or whatever the case is. So
they live this every day.
Sure.
And so for a lot of people, it's not that they have, bad intentions, it's that they might not be as informed about the issue that we're talking about or trying to present.
Right.
So it's a very delicate issue, especially with refugees, to demonstrate why it is that we've chosen to do that, and why it's important to help this population in particular. But for us, it really is about, as specific as we are about refugees, it is about creating a model to help disadvantaged populations in our community, whether that's women who have been incarcerated and released, or homeless youth. There's all sorts of ways through employment that we can improve people's lives.
Correct. Well, it was really great to hear you say, I don't want it to be a yes, but I want it to be a yes, and. And when consumers are trying to make decisions, oftentimes they'll come to a decision for a multitude of different reasons. And if the product is the disappointment, there's a bunch of left opportunity on the table as a result, right? So if you're just creating something that makes the world a better place, but ultimately the experience doesn't deliver, you maybe get an order in a vacuum. If you also deliver a product that delivers on the experience, now you have a raving fan who will want to do it again and again and again. And not only will they want to do it again and again and again, chances are they will tell other people about that story, in addition to this, look at this amazing product, and oh, by the way. And really, by having an amazing product that also tells a somewhat nuanced and complicated and somewhat subtle story, you're giving that person the opportunity to begin a relationship with you that you can reveal the rest of the story to them over time, as opposed to the other way around, right? And so for me, for that, it's by focusing on product first and a great experience, you're really affording yourself the rest of the opportunity. And because you're using a workforce that also is growing and learning as your scale grows, it gives them the opportunity to grow along with you. It's such an amazingly good construct. I love it. So if I was going to give you this opportunity to speak to those end buyers that have already decided that maybe they're going to do business with my company, with Social Good Promotions, but now they're trying to make a decision about what it is that they should particularly be buying, what would you want that person to know about your guys' product and your product line, or even the company?
Well, I think we've spent now 7 years really building incredible processes to make sure that every single experience is a positive experience. And we do not really manage from the top down. All of our staff are fully empowered to resolve all issues, and there's a total quality guarantee behind everything.
Nice.
And it's constantly people impressed with the promptness of our response, the thoroughness of our responses, the intellect of the team. And a lot of that actually, as we were talking before, is derived from the existence of the mission. If we would never attract that caliber of staff that help us build these systems and processes and provision this product in this way, devoid of ethics, sustainability, and purpose. So that fundamentally drives the entirety of the buying experience in a way that you're going to see that and feel that in the artwork. You're going to see that and feel that when you pick up the phone and call and you need something in 3 days, and we're able to do that because we know how important it is.
Actually talk to a designer who's working on the design and who really cares about it.
Fantastic.
And it isn't so much even account reps. We want designers talking to the end user, even if that seems counterintuitive, because we want the designers to actually be listening and understanding what the clients need or what the process is. And then they're ultimately the best to do the research on the end use and think about the end user to inspire their design. And you're going to see that manifest as well. And then when that inspired design lives on the product that is distributed to end users and to staff of buyers, they're going to know that this is something really unique and remarkable, even if it's a necktie, when people might have written that off. Because the product itself is not, it has been, in many ways, like the promotional product space, it has a black eye because it was sort of referred to as this like method of corporate drudgery, but that isn't the case when it's expressive and when it's built in a certain way. I think in particular, a lot of organizations, and not to criticize the give back model, there's obviously a lot of organizations that have established systems and supply chains and can't necessarily just turn over to a specific workforce.
Sure.
We were built intentionally from the very beginning to serve this mission with this population.
Yep.
And it definitely wasn't easy, and it doesn't come quick, but operationalizing impact in any way possible to make sure that not just with sourcing decisions, but the employees that actually produce it, and how the facilities are powered, and how all of the waste is actually eliminated or reduced, all the way to the partners that you work with. There's so many ways to create impact, and for us it's just really important to think about every single instance where we can get better, make the product better, make the experience richer, and ultimately give people as many reasons to want to come back and want to tell as many people about it as possible.
Can't say it any better than that, right? It's the entirety of the experience is really where it's at, and the fact that you're so focused and dedicated to it, and the idea that purpose has drawn talent to you, I think is a very important cultural marker for people when they're considering, even for their own businesses, if they want to be aligned around something that would afford them the same opportunity. Purpose may not be the reason, but the idea of the fact that starting with something like that everybody can rally around has a lot of ability to create clarity for an organization. So I commend you for doing it, and it's great to see it in action. And we look forward to the folks out there who see this buying all kinds of stuff from me through you, and together we will definitely make the world a better place by virtue of that. Jeremy?
Appreciate it, Brad.
Thank you. Jaymie? Thank you so much.